Our first game is West Brom versus Arsenal. That's a BT Sport at 12:45. So West Brom failed to beat Chelsea last weekend. Claudio Jakob was sent off after half an hour, which kind of spoiled the game. And Arsenal were hit by counter-attacking football from Manchester United, even though they were all over them, Ross.
Yeah, well, in terms of Arsenal, just their same old problems, really. No sort of tactics defensively. Once they went 1-0 behind, it was all a bit desperate. And then, yeah, as you said, United's countered on the break well. I think United went 2-0 up with only having one shot on target.
Yep.
So it just sums up Arsenal's form at the moment, really.
Yeah, they tried to force the game, didn't they?
Yeah,
Typical Arsenal possession football.
61% from Arsenal, 23 shots, 9 on target against United's 12 shots with only 2 on target. But then Gibbs did help out there with his little own goal in the early on.
Yeah, he did.
Was it Oxlade-Chamberlain? No, that's an old joke. Sorry.
Too soon. Berahino be important for West Brom. He's contributed 54% of West Brom's goals. Do you think it'll be important, Ross?
Yeah, well, he's the man. They've scored 10 goals at home this season. And obviously a lot of that's been down to him. They've also conceded 10, so there's hope for Arsenal in that respect. However,
will he be playing on Saturday?
Exactly.
What's he been up to?
He's been arrested
for
drink driving.
No, silly boy.
Especially around Christmas.
I know.
Terrible timing.
Doesn't he know what happens at Christmas on the roads? They're all out there.
Down.
I know.
Silly Sado.
Immature boy.
So yeah, it will actually be important though whether they might decide to discipline him. So if he isn't playing, then that will boost Arsenal's chances again.
So West Brom, do you think they'll survive?
Yeah, I do. I think they've got a good spine to the team. Obviously with Berahino when he's not out getting drunk and driving around. They've got Foster and Jakob and Lescott in the sort of spine of the team, so I think that's enough quality to stay in the league, and I think their home form will be important for that.
And do you think Arsenal will get top 4?
I do think they will. They're not had a great start to the season, but they're looking stronger. Giroud comes back after 3 months and scores against United. It's not bad. They've got Sanchez as well, Welbeck, Oxlade-Chamberlain. They've got a strong side, and I think they'll only improve.
And recommended bets?
I think that West Brom will score in this match, but Arsenal look much stronger, and I think they'll have the greater motivation as well, having just, they both lost their last 2, but I think Arsenal were unlucky, certainly on Saturday evening, and I think that a good bet here would be a both teams to score away for Arsenal, possibly 2-1.
I'm going to contradict that and say BTTS best result, West Brom.
Controversial.
Best price 7-1 at Coral.
Yeah, I'm going to follow Leif on that one. I think Arsenal are in need of the points after suffering their worst start for 32 years. West Brom have been scoring plenty at home. They've scored 10 goals, but they've also conceded 10. So yeah, I can see Arsenal just getting the win here in a 2-1 scoreline.
Head-to-heads, 5 wins out of 7, 2 draws, also goes in their favour, but most importantly, they really need to start collecting some points, and I think they'll do that.
Next, we've got Sunderland versus Chelsea. That's at 5:30 on Saturday on Sky Sports 1. So, controversial one where Jose Mourinho will want to forget after he got fined after his comments after this game last season.
Last time they lost, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sunderland ended Jose Mourinho's unbeaten home record. Do you think that will be a big factor?
I don't think so. I think Sunderland have really been struggling. Two wins in 12, but the highest drawing team in the Premier League. So 12 games this season, drawn 7 of them, more than half.
I know.
Their home record, though, is if you look at their home record, they're pretty tough to beat at home. 1 win, 4 draws, 1 defeat, 7 goals scored, 7 conceded, and they've managed to draw against United, Tottenham, Swansea and Everton. Only Arsenal winning there.
It's good form. And do you think anyone will stop Chelsea?
No.
I can't see it at the moment. No.
In a word, Who will? I can't see anyone
They're
stopping
just
them.
running away with it. I think the nearest competitors in the league table at the end of it will be City, but I expect Chelsea to win it by about 8 to 12 points, to be honest. I just can't see.
And possibly more.
Yeah.
And Paddy Power already paid out for Chelsea to win the title.
And I'm not surprised.
And, well, that Sunderland-Leicester game was poor. I think the highlight of the game on BBC Sports website was Lee Cattermole getting booked.
Yeah, just neither team are in scoring too many goals at the moment. They're not exactly high scorers. So, yeah, I don't think Leicester really got, apart from Ajoa, there's not too much quality up front. Sunderland have got Stephen Fletcher, but outside of that, nobody's really banging in the goals. So I think 0-0 was kind of to be expected in that one.
I can't think any weak spots in that Chelsea squad either. You look through it, so you got goalkeeper, you got Courtois, and then you got Cech on the bench. You've got, I think the weak spot, I guess, is the cover of centre back, which you've still got.
Yeah, they can still bring Ivanovic in, I suppose, who
Yeah.
can do a job that. Yeah, they're going to dominate the league this year, really, aren't they? I think teams like West Brom, Sunderland, they seem to be beaten now without really getting into third or fourth gear. They seem to be quite comfortably cruising past them. They don't need to break sweat.
Could get complacent though.
They could, but if you take a look at Sunderland's defence, they may be in the top half of the form table, just ninth. That's courtesy of draws, but they've conceded more goals than any other Premier League side, 13 in the last 6, only scoring 7. I think Chelsea are capable of putting a couple of goals past Sunderland, even with their solid home form.
So over 2.5 goals maybe?
I would have thought so. And again, I would look at both teams to score a result on this.
Yeah.
I can see Sunderland scoring, but I'd be very surprised if Chelsea didn't win it 2-1 or 3-1.
Yeah, that's exactly the same with me.
I actually don't think Sunderland will score. I think Chelsea go on a run of clean sheets. They've just got a settled back four. Can't really see them being caused too many problems at the weekend. So my bet for that would be Chelsea to win 0 with the best odds at Betfair.
So we've got a new segment this week, Question Time.
Ooh. Dum, dum, dum.
Copyrighting that title. So question 1.
Do we have a buzzer? Or
Well, you can if you want.
all right.
We don't have one right now, but...
You'll have to improvise.
Okay. Can you name me the Premier League team that has had the most shots on average per game?
Man City,
Yep. Correct.
17.3.
18.4.
Someone's done some research already.
18.4. Second, Arsenal, 17.3. Third, Chelsea, 15.4. Question 2.
Mm-hmm.
Can you name the Premier League team with the most aerial duels won this season so far?
Stoke.
That is
Is it?
You're going to have to look back at that because that's definitely a draw. Yeah,
Is it Stoke?
It's Stoke.
Big side.
So,
Yeah.
The Britannia, they like a bit of aerial ping
That's
pong.
why next time we'll get buzzers that electronically cut out the other person. Okay.
Do you know second?
West Ham?
Nope. They're third.
West Brom?
Nope.
United?
Nope.
Don't know.
Not Tottenham.
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Okay.
And finally, can you name the player with the highest contribution of goals to their team this season?
Aguero?
Contribution,
Yeah.
as in including
So-
assists and goals.
No, just goals.
Goals.
Aguero.
Nope.
Costa.
Nope.
Cup game. Oh, Harry Kane.
Nope. Just the league.
Just the league.
Berahino.
Nope.
No
He's
idea.
second. Aguero's third.
Rooney.
Nope.
It's obviously
Sanchez?
spread out thin.
Sanchez.
Nope.
I'm just.
Do you want me to-
It's not a Tottenham player, is it?
No, it's not a Tottenham player. Okay, I'll give you a clue. Teams in the bottom 3.
Oh, Charlie Austin.
Yep.
Charlie Austin.
He's Charlie Austin has contributed 55% of QPR's goals.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Berahino's 54% and Aguero's 50%. So that's quite
Key
impressive,
players.
Aguero. Next, we've got arguably the biggest game of the Premier League weekend. Southampton versus Manchester City.
Should be a cracker.
So Southampton are in a terrific form, apart from the little hiccup on Monday night.
Yeah, a bit surprising on Monday night that they didn't win that, but yeah, they've had a very strong run.
They have, yeah. And Man City are struggling a bit, aren't they, Ross?
They are struggling. They're still undefeated in 34 of their last 38 Premier League games. So, I suppose in their high standards, they're struggling. But I just think when you've got Aguero in a team fit and firing, they can beat anyone on their day.
Not as confident, though, are they, this season as they were last season?
There's something missing. I think Torre's maybe dipped in form a bit. Company hasn't quite been up there. I think we've seen it twice now. They've always struggled to defend a Premier League title once they've won it. They just seem to lack a bit of fight or hunger. I'm not really sure.
I think it's Pellegrini. I think it's the fact that he's got no plan B. He expects his team to play a certain way.
Yeah.
And because teams are guessing, they're guessing right on what Man City are going to play, and that's an obvious assessment. Then you talk about a spine of the team. You've got Joe Hart, and you've got Pantilimon.
Yeah.
No, not Pantilimon. That guy from Malaga.
Caballero.
Yeah, something like that. And then you've got Company. And you've got Yaya Toure, and you've got Sergio Aguero. That's probably arguably a stronger spine than Chelsea.
Exactly, it's not bad. I think the one player they missed though is David Silva. I think he really makes them tick. And they've obviously been missing him in the last few weeks, so I think that's probably why we've seen a dip in their performances.
So, if Man City lose this, could it be Pellegrini's job?
No, I don't think so.
Do you not think?
I don't.
I think so.
To be honest, I think the midweek game is more important. The Champions League.
I think if they lose to Munich and they lose on the weekend to Southampton, then that's going to be his job.
I don't think so.
And will Southampton keep the pressure on Chelsea, do you think?
I think they will.
Gonna...
No, I don't. I think people have been talking about when's the cycle going to break? When are they going to start sliding down? Was a surprise against Aston Villa, but if you just look at the stats over 10 games, they're very, very impressive. Second best form over 10 games. Highest goal difference. Okay, the 8-0 against Sunderland had a big factor there. But, over the last 10, City have lost away to West Ham. They've drawn away to QPR. They've lost at home to Stoke. They've got quite a number of sort of surprise results in there, whereas Southampton have surprised us in the opposite direction, just kept winning.
Yeah, exactly. So, back to Pellegrini. If he's going to lose his job, who's going to take over?
Obviously, Klopp's been talking lately about...
Dortmund are in the bottom two of the Bundesliga, though.
Managing in England. Whether they'd go, I think they've got Pep eyed up, to be honest.
Do you think? I don't think he'll leave Munich.
I don't think he will anytime soon, but I do think in the next couple of years he'll be approached quite strongly by City.
I think he'll go United if he's going to go anywhere.
I think that's all set up for Giggs.
No, too early for Giggs. He'll be later on.
Yeah, in my opinion,
Giggs is about 10 years away.
Yeah.
I think in my opinion it's too early, but I've got a feeling they might, once Van Gaal leaves, they might just try Giggs in the hot
Wait a
seat.
sec, Van Gaal isn't going anywhere just yet.
I think he signed a 3-year contract, didn't he? And I don't know, he's not spring chicken. He's getting on his way. So I think maybe after 3 years.
He said as soon as he started, I need 3 months. Yeah. And then 3 months later, I need 3 years.
No, you misunderstood it. It was always years.
So basically, he's saying, I need the whole of my contract in order to get this team to where they are.
Well, wouldn't you if you were in that position?
I wouldn't make promises on 3 months or 3 years.
I think the 3 months thing was just to see improvement in performances on the pitch. I think 3 years is more. It
was a language issue.
Yeah,
misunderstanding.
I think he just underestimated the Premier League. In my opinion,
maybe nobody apart from Chelsea, everybody's being poor this season. I think that's why Southampton are not necessarily in a false position, but they're up there, and looks like they're serious contenders for the top four. I think this is their acid test now, really. They've had a draw against Villa, they've got City this weekend, then they've got Arsenal away, followed by United at home. So I think over this Christmas period,
I think that draw would do them some good, because it'll cut out any complacency, and the next match is at home. Their home record is incredible. Unbeaten, 5 wins, 1 draw, 17 goals scored, 1 against. Yes, 8 of them were in one match, but I mean, it's pretty impressive.
No, their home form, is definitely best in the league, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think this would be probably their biggest game of the season so far.
Well, I'm going to go recommend a bet, BTTS plus result. It's just Southampton. The best price at Coral at 5-1. I think that's a great price.
I've already bet on it, and I really fancy Southampton to win this at home. City aren't anywhere near as confident as they should be for the players they have. Something's gone wrong there, and I can see them slipping up on the south coast.
Recommend placing that as soon as possible as well, because if Southampton have drawn, that may bring it further out, the price. And if Man City get a result, or, well, they're more likely to lose against Munich, I think. So if they lose against Munich, then that price is going to come back in.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, from City's point of view, will be to do with what happens to them in midweek against Munich. As things currently stand, I fancy City just to edge it in a BTTS plus result. I think you could get around 3-1 for City to win like that at Betway.
Tumbleweed. Sunday's 4 o'clock kickoff sees Tottenham versus Everton. We might see some more boos from the home fans, as I think Everton might get a result.
You never know.
So Tottenham have lost the most home games this season in the whole of the Premier League.
Oh, it's dreadful.
They've lost 4.
It's poor, isn't it?
It is. It's even worse than the bottom 3.
They've lost 3 of the last 5, Tottenham. Home defeats Stoke and Newcastle. Mind you, losing at home to Newcastle at the moment isn't to be frowned upon too much. They're 5 successive wins.
Yeah, and who did that start with?
Oh, I don't know. Tell me.
Tottenham.
Yeah, they do seem to prefer playing away from home at the moment, Spurs. I think is it the last 3 games where they've had to sort of rely on somebody getting sent off, basically.
Benteke got sent off.
Yeah.
And then Tottenham went on to win that 2-1.
Hull at the weekend.
Ramirez got sent off, went on to win 2-1. 90th minute as well. But that's why I think we're just not performing at home, because we get to the point where we start stepping up a gear. Yeah. And by the 70th minute, like 20% of the crowd's left.
Yeah.
No, that's no good, is it?
No.
Yeah, 20% of the crowd, not the supporters.
Yeah.
Quite.
Tottenham have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 5, whilst Everton have scored the most goals outside of the top 3 this season with 22. So I think they will both score in this game. I can see it heading towards a draw personally. I think they'll finish maybe similar positions in the table at the end of the season.
Yeah, I can't think any of them are going to get top 4. Both have been too inconsistent.
It's a difficult game to predict this, and
yeah, it's the one that literally there could be any outcome.
It could. Tottenham were strong against Hull the other day. 73% possession, 23 shots, 6 on target. I think Hull had 10 shots, 2 on target, 9 corners to Spurs. But can they produce that level of performance at home? That's the question.
I think they'll start to, but one person makes a mistake and we go 1-0 down.
Yeah.
Crowd's going to go, players' heads are going to go, and that's what happened against City.
Everton have also enjoyed playing away from home this season. They've only lost once. Only Chelsea have lost fewer than that with 0. So yeah, they fancy their chances travelling to White Hart Lane, especially as you said, if they can get an early goal, get the crowd on the Tottenham's back, then I don't think Spurs will find it easy.
Defensive differences as well. Tottenham last 6 have conceded 10. Everton last 6 have conceded 5 and scored 10. And initially I looked at that and I thought, I think Everton will sneak this. But then having seen how dominant they were against Hull, it's only if they can do that at home will they manage to get a draw. So very, very tough game.
I think maybe in play might even be a good idea in this, because if you see the first half an hour and if you see the crowd or Tottenham themselves causing a bit of an upset in themselves, then it could be quite profitable if you bet in play.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call. I'm personally going to go for a 1-1 draw, as 2 of the last 3 meetings have ended in draws and I just can't separate them at the moment. So a correct score 1-1 draw has best odds of 13-2 at BetVictor.
I'm going to stay away from a scoreline because I just don't know.
Any bet on here, I'd probably go for both teams to score on its own.
Exactly the same. I've gone with that. Best price would be found at BetVictor.
Around the Premier League.
Lastly, we're going to look around the Premier League games remaining and see where we can find the best value. So, Ross,
First up, Burnley Villa. Neither team scoring too many goals at the moment. I know Burnley have won their last two. I think it's just one of those games that both teams are settled for a point. So I can actually see a 0-0 draw coming here, and you can find best odds of 8-1. Various bookmakers for that. Liverpool versus Stoke. Neither team can really defend at the moment. Both teams are leaking goals, so I like the looks of over 2.5 goals for that, with best odds again at BetVictor. Man United versus Hull. After that win at Arsenal, their first away win of the season, I think the shackles may come off slightly from United's point of view. It looks like Falcao's going to be fit again. But they are still leaking goals, so I'd go for a correct score of 3-1 on this one to United, with best odds of 11-1 at Bet365.
Well, I'm going to go for Swansea versus Crystal Palace, BTTS plus result. That looks quite good at 11-4 at Coral.
Yeah, the one I like in that one, I think Wilfred Boney's coming back into some form. I said he'd score a brace a few weeks back, and he did. So this time I'm actually going to back it at Sky Bet with best odds of 9-2.
And Laith, do you have any recommended bets?
Any bets I go for, probably over 3.5 goals with the United Hull game. I think the doors are going to open. United will be much more confident having won away at Arsenal, and if Falco plays as well.
2-2.
Excuse me?
2-2.
2-2 what?
Scoreline.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the degree that you got. No, I think 3-1, 3-1, 4-1. Yeah, don't judge everyone by your own standards, Leith. 3-1 or 4-1, I think.
Well, thanks for listening. We've got a midweek podcast next week, and we'll be looking at Leicester versus Liverpool and Arsenal versus Southampton in depth, but we'll also be looking at the other Premier League games that week.
Download the Football Coupon app on iPhone and Android for best odds, bet tracking, live Opta data, and score forecasts. For more information, check out footballcoupon.co.uk.